have children who suffered secondhand trauma. We have employees who are working for leaders who have suffered secondhand trauma. And so we know the circle that perpetuates itself. Now we are moving forward. And I suggest, and I have a few recommendations from Liberia. In fact, I'm going to share a little story. I was doing my dissertation on trauma-informed implementation for a better Liberia, focusing on how to incorporate trauma leadership for Liberia. And it was a little problem because, of course, I was talking about Africa, and I don't think my chair was happy knowing that it was going to take so much of time, but it was something that was very important to me because I traveled to Liberia and worked with the youth of Liberia firsthand. I volunteered over a month of my time educating, working on this, what do we call it? Disenfranchised youth, and we want to say disadvantaged youth, so many ways we can say it, of Liberia. We need to be able to create spaces that are safe, where not only our youth can have a conversation and be heard. We must move beyond the privilege of conversations within smaller elite groups in order to make a change, the reconciliation that we want, that we desire for Liberia must be an action reconciliation, not just talk. We heard from Rwanda all of the examples, and we have so much to learn from them. We must consider what is unique to Liberia. What are the needs for our people in Liberia? As we speak about trauma, our villages, rural areas, are they left out? Are we just focusing on Monrovia? We, from the diaspora, when we go back to Liberia, do we have a top-down mentality? Do we have a mentality where we have been afforded the opportunity to come and learn and to advance ourselves, but how are we giving back? The time is now. Many of us here today are here because we are committed to a change. We want to be a part of this change. We sacrifice our time and efforts to be here. But I propose that the educational system develop a curriculum from elementary school. Let's start teaching about trauma, mental health, the challenges, how we can get help. Our churches, let's speak in our churches and have open dialogues. That is okay to talk about hurt and pain and depression and still pray to God. God gave us the gift of counsels. And so there are others that have this gift to help to eradicate some of the issues that we are having within Liberia. We cannot continue to have a closed mindset about mental health and trauma as they relate to Liberia. We cannot be silent anymore. We see the Zocos, or the youths that we call Zocos. We find them on the street. What is going to become of Liberia 5 years from now if about 64% of the youth are on the streets? I have so much more, and I can go on, although my time has been shortened, but I urge every single one of you to move. We have work to do. It does not start with the conference here. It's beyond the conference. As the president has started, I urge us to move and give our all to contributing to the changes of a better Liberia.
Thank you, Dr. Reynolds. Real quickly before we move on to Brother Keita. So the theme of this conference is Healing, Reconciliation, and Rebuilding a New Chapter for Liberia. We'll have two breakout sessions, as Ambassador Dunn said, after here. I want to repeat the theme so that you all can start taking notes and maybe, decide which group to go into. The two groups will be, group number one, Healing Historical Wounds, Addressing the Legacy of the Civil War, and two, Building National Unity Beyond Political and Generational Divide. Before I move on to Brother Keita, I want to recognize Dr. Joseph Gbagba. Dr. Gbagba is an education and cultural expert. He has agreed to lead one of the sessions in the breakout session. So he's not on here today, but I want to recognize him as well. Brother Keita, take your 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Why they have to? Hello? Hello? I'd like to stay, please. Forgive me. He said 2 minutes, so let me start. Yeah, you know, you see, we talk about healing and reconciliation. First of all, let me take the time to Dr. Don, thank you so much. I appreciate you. You started the process of healing and reconciliation within the diaspora. Thank you. Somehow when I even come in. But thank you so much to have you here today. And I tell you members, Liberia in the diaspora, the day they pulled my grandfather from, I didn't say it no more. It still touching my heart. You want for us to forget about those people? Nah. Healing. A lot of things happen. We have to start for healing. I know they have the other one, they have the reconciliation, people come and confess. Yes. When I said we thought it was South Africa murder they bring it to Liberia. That is, if I confess that I killed you, I did something to you, I'm going to come down to my knee and say, I'm sorry, forgive me. But it went all the way around. 10 years he can't be political leader. He put in jail and all those stuff. It went amok. Now we have a very good opportunity for every Liberia now, for all to do something. First of all, we serve ourselves. Here in America, in the diaspora, let's reconcile our differences. Some of them know our tribe. Yeah, ask me, I don't know if I'm a global man, what our crew man. Before 1980, there was nothing like tribe, but it hit or high. Today in Liberia, if you're not a crew man, I'm a president, you can't be nobody. That's bad. Those are another healing we have to look at. This is very important. There are a lot we need to discuss. Another healing is not about killing, it's not about destroying life, but it's about you in the diaspora. As the Liberian government, give us the opportunity so we can vote here. Don't leave from Liberia, you come here, you ask for our vote, you want our money, you want to cast our vote here in the diaspora. It is about time we raise our voice. Those are some of the healing. We've been hurt so much. All they do is walk through the corridor. I want to be president. You get money. You reach to Liberia, you vote nothing. But I'm thankful to those and our brothers who fought the army to have dual citizenship. That's so key. And I thank you all. You all contributed towards that. Because if you don't have dual citizenship, then as a Liberian, born in Liberia, an American citizen, you can't own a land. We made it. We got a lot to do. Stand by us, by ULA. We will make sure. We told the Liberian government, they said they don't have money. But I believe, Liberia, you can afford it. We can pay $50, each one of us, to vote here. The Liberian government don't have the money. We can raise it. And I want Liberians to say, you can raise the money. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ULA President Mohammed Keita. We'll now go to the National Peace Ambassador, Honorable Eric Sumo Kwekwe.
Hello. So, I ran away from the war, and I came to America. I spent 16 years in Massachusetts. And I was thinking about my people back home. When I got done with my studies, I went back home in 2015. And I met Reverend William Aratola III. I joined his office in October the same year. And since that time, I've gone through the nook and crannies of Liberia. I've worked with chiefs and elders. I've worked with our youth, especially the motorcyclists, some of whom, when they were born, all they saw was war. They have gone through a lot, and politicians use them all of the time to create chaos in our society. People left from refugee camps and came home. Some of them are hurt. There are people in the diaspora who chose not to go back, scared. Investors want to come, they're scared. What can we do to reconcile them? I've been working since 2015. We just celebrated the 22nd year of peace in Bambara, Boba district, just a few days before I came over here. And our theme was Act Now for Peace, Unity, and Reconciliation. We brought together citizens from the border towns of Sierra Leone and Liberia. But more than that, we have been yearning to go out there into the interior to talk to our people. We need to engage them all of the time. My key message will always be, and has always been, inclusivity. We need to include everybody. With the arrest agenda for inclusive development, all hands on deck. With you in the diaspora, we have been longing and willing and crying and yearning to have you involved in the process. All of us need to work together. What can we do to work together? For us back home, we will never relent, we will never get weary. We're always out there. But we have challenges as well. Up to date, since the inception of this government, supposed to go out there. I have a private car, and I know the GSA gives me a government license plate to commute. How is that supposed to work? I wish His Excellency the President was sitting here to hear me, because I wanted to ask him for more support, for help. Just as Honorable Erasmus was saying here, we need support to be able to do the work we do, because this is not funny. There are people yearning for peace. 2023 elections was closely knitted, very close. You go into communities and people are still like, okay, so is that why this government took over and you're sitting in Monrovia, you don't come here, you just feel that anytime or everything is okay. No, it's not okay. We need to listen to them, we need to help them go through with the peace process. Let me stop those far. Any other questions will answer.
Thank you very much. How come when you hold these mics, they don't work when I take them to work? What's going on? So there are general themes that were really developed out of the presentations up here. First, the two presentations this morning by Dr. Morgandi and President Boakai, and the themes. What I see here is it's important to look at a historical perspective of our conflict. I don't want to limit it to the Civil War because, of course, the conflict didn't start from the Civil War. There were things that led to the Civil War. So we have to look at a historical perspective. I heard that in the presentations here. I also heard good governance and accountability as being critical and key. I heard reconciliation. And I heard being the government, that we, the government, must be intentional and must be bold in pursuing reconciliation, accountability, and good governance in Liberia. Those are the things. So having said so, I will open the panel up for questions. This is the opportunity for members of the panel to speak more. They gave us more details in terms of their ideas. After the question and answer, Ambassador Dunn said we'll break up later on into groups, and it's at that point that we will collect all of the recommendations that will be presented to ourselves and to the government. So I'll open it up now to questions. Here's what we'll do. I don't think we have microphones everywhere, so I might have to walk around a little bit. So I would say let's form a line. Let's form a line. Let's form a line here. Okay. So let's form two lines. Let's form a line there. Let's form a line here. I'll bring two microphones. We take one person from here, one person from this side. Let's do it that way. Oh, wonderful. All right. Can the lady in red get in front of you? You're lining up there? Oh, you take the mic around. Wonderful. Excellent. All right, so let's start the process, guys. Introduce yourself. Please be brief. Limit the commentary before the question, or just go to the comment.
Thanks for the opportunity. I'm Joel Eric Williamson, representing Liberty Watch Incorporated. Now, this first question, I have two questions here. The first question is for actually the Liberians on the panel. For 16 years, Liberia's Truth and Reconciliation Commission report has remained largely unimplemented, leaving many citizens uncertain about whether reconciliation is attainable. Yet we gather here today because reconciliation remains central to our future as a nation. Now to the panel, do you believe that true reconciliation in Liberia is possible through the implementation of TRC recommendations? If yes, how can this be achieved in practice? If not, why not? The second question goes to Dr. Bogani. Rwanda has walked a difficult path of national healing after its own tragic process, and has served as a model in Africa. Given your experience, what practical recommendations can you share with Liberia to help us move the Truth and Reconciliation Commission long-shelf recommendations forward so that reconciliation is not only a report on paper, but a lived reality that unites our people?
Okay. I want the Liberians to take that first question, since that's the first question you asked. And who wants to take it? Which one are you? Go ahead, Dr.
Thank you for your question. To your question, I believe the answer is yes. Reconciliation is possible. It is a multi-generational process. And the key word there is process. That means that over time, over generations, may not be in our generation, but it takes intentionality, consistency, and efforts that will continue over time. We as Liberians, we have a struggle with consistency and implementation. And so I believe if we are committed to reconciliation for a new Liberia, it is going to be more of action, like we say, less talk, and more of putting in the work, those things that we must do, going into communities, inclusion, having all parties, spaces where women can have conversation about change, respect beyond the fact that you are government officials or, special, people in the community. It must take all of us being intentional about coming together, combatants as well as the victims. We must forgive. And when we talk about forgiveness, we find examples from countries such as, again, Rwanda, Uganda, Kenya, Sierra Leone. They were able to achieve that. And I believe Liberia is in the position now more than ever because President Boyka has started already. It is now up to us to keep a positive mindset and to be intentional about the change that we want. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Roberts. National Peace Ambassador.
If I may just add, I'm in full agreement with her. Peace is attainable. It's possible, but put your money where your mouth is. That's what I would encourage us to do. Because long time, I told you, we just celebrated 22 years of peace. Of course, peace is not in the absence of guns. People have differences, but we need to engage them. We can't sit down in Monrovia. We need to put money there, be able to go out there and engage the people constantly and make them to feel a part of the process. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Morgandi.
Thank you. Asking me what recommendation can I make to Liberia to make sure that true reconciliation is unity is achieved. I think Liberia, as my sister has made a good recommendation. It is a long process, and it will take definitely a long time to be achieved, provided leaders and the people are committed to it. If I look at the example of my country, they talk about reconciliation is not just a discussion among leaders and elites. It is taken on the ground, on every village. In every village, we have discussions. We sit down and try to understand what went wrong with us. How did we come to that terrible point of committing a genocide? We identify everything that went wrong, and collectively we commit ourselves to change, to never go back that route. And that cannot be done in one day. It has to be consistent, and I would like to really commend your president for involving the diaspora, because we live now in a global village. Even if work was to be done inside Liberia and progress to be made, if you are not involved, if you are not on board, if you are not part and parcel of that reconciliation process, you can still slow that process or even derail it, because you live in a global village. You have social media. You can continue to negatively influence your people there while seated here. That's why engaging the diaspora community is very important, so that you all as Liberians, whether inside and outside, you are in the same boat and you are equally committed and engaged for reconciliation.
Thank you, Dad. So as I said earlier, we have limited time, so please be quick. We have like 15 more minutes to the close of this session. So we'll take about just 2-3 more questions. Hurry up, go ahead.
Thank you very much. I'm Reverend Emon Ludix, former pastor of Providence Baptist Church. I pastored Providence when the war started, so a lot of history. When we talk about reconciliation, I don't want us to override or overlook that historical elephant that is always in the room, which is the divide between, for lack of a better word, American Liberians and native Liberians. Hello, somebody. It is there. Now, that divide has brought us, led us somehow into the war because of the negative examples that we continue to recite. What I'm seeing now, moving forward, Patrick Burrows set the tone. Let us begin to find common ground, things that unite us, as Liberians, and build together as was done in the example of Rwanda. So now, some of you have answered the question, so it's more of coming out in the question. But do not let us ignore the elephant in the room, because the divide is still there between American Liberians and native Liberians, and now you got travelers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Real quick, go ahead. Again, one question per person, let's limit the commentary.
Well, my name is Owen Wallace. I'm a retired engineer from Atlanta. And my question is to the panel here. Liberians, we as Liberians, we are very religious people, whether it is through Christianity or through Islam. How are we going to use the platform of religion in order to bring this message of reconciliation? Because we put a lot of our time into the belief of God,
or the church or the mosque. And I think it is, when you visit those places, you don't hear nothing about reconciliation. You hear everything about heaven, making yourself right to go to heaven. And here our country is falling apart, but you're preparing us to go to heaven. And we are all Liberians. So if you can comment on that, because I think it is a very vital place that the pastors and the imams, they are also involved in this discussion to bring this message to the audience.
Thank you.
Hello. Okay, there is even a religious divide. There are a lot of people who want Liberia to be just a Christian state and ignore the others, the Muslims. So there is a divide there. We have so many levels of divide. We have to really be prepared to come together and respect each other on all levels. And this, the one divide that is taught to us is the diaspora, those who live in the diaspora and those who are at home. And I keep coming back to that. And I want to ask and suggest, and this is done in Cape Verde Islands. They have 3 parliamentary seats for their diaspora. They have at least 6, you are correct. They have 6 seats in legislature for their diaspora. So when people from the diaspora go home to run, they don't have to fight, and people don't have to lie and cheat to disenfranchise them and take their citizenship away from them because they're afraid that the Liberian from the diaspora will win the election. What they do is, in Cape Verde, they have 2 seats from the Americas, 2 seats from Europe, Asia, and 2 seats from other African countries, because a lot of Cape Verdeans live in other neighboring countries. And so if we give the diaspora 6 seats in parliament, that will solve a major problem. And I'll turn it over, but you are talking about the church. And when we go to church, to mosque, when I talked about a campaign, a media campaign. When you do media campaigns like this, you go everywhere. You promote the reconciliation through the churches, through the communities, through the mosque. You promote it wherever there is a person talking and people listening. Thank you.
Thank you. We have 5 minutes for this session, so make your comment, but so everybody, we do 2 things. We do have breakout sessions where you will come and make your ideas. The panel is not going to answer all the questions, solve all of the problems. In breakout session, you will have the opportunity to do so. We'll take 1 question from over on this side, because I had told them earlier to line up here. One of you, just 1, so you both decide.
Hi, so my name is Edrin Scally, and I'm a part of having a business in Liberia. It's a wellness education company. So I'm with you on the mental health and wellness. My question is, the problem is a lack of truth regarding our history. Even that guy talking about the cause of the war being like a miracle Liberians and like indigenous people, from reading the Truth and Reconciliation report, that's not what I read. It was due to a lot of economic exploitation of natural resources. So we have to be honest about that, because right now, this is the time to prevent that from happening again, before they lie and say it's a division between the people. So be honest about the true cause of the war. Because right now, people are coming in, saying they're investors, and all of these things. So So my thing is to prevent more harm. Let's speak the truth about the true cause of the war. So my question around that is, how do we get curriculum, yes, in mental health and wellness, but also our history? I speak to Liberians who have no clue about the real history of our country, have no clue about people coming from Jamaica like Marcus Garvey with Pan-Africanism. So how do we get Liberia's true history in school so that people can be empowered and liberated to be Liberian, period?
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So really, and I'm going to conclude it here, unfortunately, and I'm sorry, but the purpose of this conference is really to get Liberians in the diaspora to come up with ideas about how to pursue reconciliation here in the diaspora, but also at home. And that is the reason why we're going to have the breakout sessions. I'm so sorry that you all have been standing and don't have the opportunity, but I encourage you to come into the breakout sessions and come with your ideas. We can tell the government what to do, but at the end of the day, let's also find a role for ourselves, and that's the purpose of this conference. What's the role of the diaspora in fostering reconciliation in Liberia? The panel of members here will join the breakout session and will be able to answer some of your questions, but also put forth their recommendations. And we are supposed to develop recommendations during the breakout sessions that will form part of the conclusive set of recommendations. Thank you all very much. Thank you, panelists. The breakout is not happening now. There will be other presentations, and then we'll announce where the breakouts will be later on.
Attention all organizations, NGOs, and social clubs in and out of Liberia. Are you tired of relying solely on social media to run your operations? An effective web platform is your most important marketing tool, and that's where Tiamat.com comes in. Hello, my Liberian people. My name is Sophia, and I want you to consider this. 53% of consumers do online research about an organization before talking to someone from that institution. That means not having a website could be costing you opportunities. Step up your game and establish a professional online presence. Introducing our web platform designed specifically for 501c organizations, small businesses, and political organizations, social clubs, etc. At Tiamat.com, we understand how important it is to make a great digital first impression, which is why we offer you all the help needed to develop, maintain, and host NGOs and small and big organization websites by giving you a full suite of services that includes automatic billing for members, membership and visitor portals, first-class design and functionality, and much more. The best part is, it only costs $20 per month. Upgrade your image today with our customized web design services. Visit www.tiamat.com to get started. This is a Liberian-owned business.
As we stay on course on this journey of reconciliation, may we be true to ourselves, honest in our hearts to admit our faults and forge ahead freely with our minds. We've made some adjustment in the program, so for now, ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor to welcome to this podium Liberia's Minister of Education, Honorable Dr. Chaso Jama. Welcome.
Everyone, forgive my voice, I'm getting over a cold, but I'll do justice to do this presentation. I think before I even go to the presentation, first I want to thank Dr. Dunn and the rest of the diaspora team and the vision of the president to engage our diaspora meaningfully because the work that we have to do in Liberia takes all of us, not only our money, our expertise, our time, in our effort. And as the concluded with the reconciliation conversation, having been the one along with Dr. Dunn and some of our other colleagues back home manage and deliver on the reconciliation and reburial committee, the wounds in Liberia is deep. Is deeper than any conversation we can have. And it really takes us to be true, I think somebody said true, to these wounds and speak to the humanity of each other and our generation that's yet unborn. I heard hurt in voices of people, whether it was through social media or conversations. The reconciliation that we seek is in reach, but we can only do it and get there if we're intentional about wanting to be truly free and live again as a society. Because that experience, working with two sides of the different families that you've heard about, was it was an experience. And in the meetings, it came up. And I think one of the colleagues here talked about trauma-informed, and that too was what I did my dissertation on. We don't understand in our society the importance of talking about hurt and feelings, and so in education we've been able to add guidance counselors to our school system now to really talk to students about some of the pain and suffering that they've encountered. So I was able to prepare a 9-minute video just kind of giving you context of the education sector, what we took when we took over, what we met, and some of the interventions that we have begun to deliver for our people. And then I'll end with some comments. And then the teacher and me, we have a mentee meter that I'm going to engage after the presentation so that we take some insights from the audience on how you want to continue being engaged in the ministry and the work that we have going on. From our citizens in the diaspora. So thank you again for the opportunity, and I'm looking forward to engaging with you in the next few minutes. So if you can, please roll the video.
In the quiet Liberian classroom, a young girl bends over her notebook, her pen moving with care across the page. Her letters are beautiful, but when asked to read them aloud, her struggle tells a deeper story. She had the most beautiful handwriting, filling her book with neat letters. But when asked to read what she had written, she struggled. She could not even read the words printed on the page. Her story reveals Liberia's literacy crisis, where 14% of children reach minimum reading proficiency by the end of primary school. In Bapu, a 10th grader farms cassava by day and sells the care for herself and her child. She is determined to finish school, but she represents the reality that nearly 2 out of 3 Liberian girls will leave school before completing secondary education. In Nimba, a disabled student's attendance at school means he must undertake a nearly 3-hour journey consciously, navigating inaccessible facilities, no accommodations or specialized curriculum, and teaching methods needed to provide quality, inclusive education. His versus Variant shows how far we must go to make education,
Good afternoon, ladies and
inclusive.
gentlemen. If you're watching
Every
us here in
grade
the United States, I say
the
good evening to
teachers
you.
get
If you're watching us
for
from Liberia, this is
60 years
the
old
Liberia Radio
with
and
homes
Television
to
Network, and we
nurturing
are here in
and two
Arlington,
feeding
Virginia,
materials.
bringing you
It
special coverage on
symbolizes
the
Liberia's
Liberia
61,000
Diaspora Annual
teachers,
Conference,
more than
the
6,000
government of
of
Liberia in
them
collaborations
volunteers
with
and paid.
several
They will
organizations
be
here in
leading
the
Latin
United States
subjects for
and
70
outside and in the
children,
diaspora and in Europe and
especially
other
in
places.
rural
Again,
countries.
like we promised before, we will be bringing
Across
you a
the
lot of different
country,
interviews this entire
children
weekend.
still learn
And with us,
without
we have
data
the Minister of
dashboards.
Information and
Humans bring
Union of
diverse
Liberia
lessons
Association
as
representatives. So I will give them the
photographers
opportunity,
through
starting with you, to
videos.
introduce yourself to
Others
the
lack
Liberia and
safe
Television Network.
material
Yeah,
and
good
access
afternoon to
to
all. My name is
virtual
Lucy Wilson
sons
here,
and
and
daughters
here
are
I'm representing the
dilapidated
Union
or
Librarian Association
non-existent,
in the
and
part
technical
of this
limitations
Liberia
occasionally
Annual
interfere.
Diaspora Conference. I also serve
Without
as
modern
the Executive
equipment,
Director for Out of Country
clear
Voting. It's a
standards,
pleasure
or
sitting beside our
streamlined
Honorable
management.
Minister. If you can
These
just
are the
introduce yourself,
realities
Minister
of our
Key.
I thought you
education.
introduced me to the
With
people already.
Yes,
faces,
please just, I will give you the opportunity to.
You know my name, good, right? So you're trying to find a schedule.
Today,
No, I'm not trying to
over
tell this.
Cheryl
1.2
Limick,
million children are enrolled in
Matthew
Liberian
Pia,
schools.
Minister of Information.
Yet,
We're
Thank
running
you.
away from
So,
the Cheryl Limick, right?
Cheryl Limick,
Yeah,
Matthew
correct.
Pia. Did I say it right?
Pia.
Pia.
Minister.
Yeah.
So I wasn't ready to run
Don't
away
worry
from
about
the
that Minister title.
So that.
Cheryl Limick, Matthew Pia.
Anyways, Mr. Minister, this is
without the ability
the
to
first day
read with
of a
understanding.
weekend of
Girls
collaborations,
remain
Liberian government and diaspora.
forced out by
So let me just give us the overview
pregnancy
from the
or
first day.
burden of
What have you witnessed so far?
Teachers, passionate but
You know,
unsupported.
this
They carry the
conference
system
brings
on their
to
shoulders.
light a
In
major
rural schools,
realization.
especially counties
And
like
that
Middlesex,
realization is
Sino, and Grenville,
every developing country
continue to fall behind in
will have to
infrastructure
tap
and
on their
resources.
people in the diaspora
And the future is at
to
risk.
harness the country's
Fewer than
progress.
5% of secondary schools
Because you can
have
beat an
functional
experience.
science
When
laboratories.
people leave these
And
third world
government
countries
spends
where
tens
there's a
of
lot of
costs
struggle,
to not
some of them, and in some
Liberia
cases, maybe let me
has
say
the vision,
most of them can do
the
very well
leadership,
in
and
where
the
they are.
plan. What we
They look
need
forward
are
to
partners.
impacting their country,
Partners who see education
maybe through
not
different
as a
projects that
charity,
they are interested
but as
in,
the most powerful
through their
investment
remittances.
in
There are
peace,
some specific details I don't have the first hand information on. What has
Every
happened to
dollar
Liberia in terms
invested
of remittances per annum?
is a dollar in a child's
It
future,
competes
a
with the country's
family's
national budget.
resilience, and a nation's
So if you
stability.
have a sector that you realize you need to engage in more practical ways beyond just waiting for the remittances they send, going direct to individual, but you capture it in a holistic form and realize, oh, this is how much money coming from the diaspora a year. You can push beyond that to say, look, those of them who have some resources they want to invest, that create the environment opportunity for them to invest. Businesses, if there are bottlenecks on what some of them are pulling back in wanting to make business, to remove those bottlenecks. That for me, that's why it has revealed. Because they've never had the chance to be in a forum where they can, in a real practical way, express these concerns. This conference, in my mind, provides that opportunity. The government is here to listen. The education minister, I just heard her speaking, right? There are some people who want to make some intervention in the educational system. Maybe they want to run nursery, primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions. They don't know what the procedure is to even start. They have the education minister here to address. There are some who want to impact our healthcare system. The health minister is here. I think she's supposed to be here tomorrow. Agriculture minister is here. In America and most part of Europe, the real money people they are who? They are farmers. Some people want to do business in the farming sector, agriculture sector. The minister is here. So it is a forum in my mind that will unlock the locked potential. That's what makes it good. In the beginning, since you are concerned about what has happened so far for today, it's good. Because you had the president making that rallying call by his keynote address, which I thought focused on the most substantive issues connected between the diaspora community and the host country.
is
Thank
to
you.
wield the weapon
Before I give you my
honesty,
guest
and unity.
interviewer the chance to ask a
That
question,
is why the arrest
and I was just
agenda
asking on the first
includes the
day,
development of
but I'm glad you
businesses in
answered
the
some of the
capital.
questions I had
At
after
its
that.
very
But I just
core,
want you to stress on this because,
education is
like
the
you
driver
said,
of
this
productivity
conference
and
gives
citizenship,
Liberian in the
but it is
diaspora the
also the
opportunity to
filter
give the
for
government a chance
gender
to listen to them.
equity,
Now, there are some
reconciliation,
Liberians
for
that
digital
feels that
readiness, and
Liberia
national
as a
unity.
whole only use some
Yet,
diaspora, Liberia as a whole
when
only
we were
use them
given
for
an
the money,
opportunity to
but
lead
they don't feel
the
like a
Ministry of
part of it.
Education in
After listening
2024,
to
we
the
did not
concerns
begin
here, what
from
is the
an easy
government
place.
going to do so that
Enrollment has
Liberia in the
slipped from
diaspora can feel a part
1.42
of the
million
country?
to about 1.2
No,
million.
I don't believe.
Too
I don't
many
believe
teachers
that
were
assertion is true.
underqualified,
No.
unpaid and unpaid volunteers.
The question, for
Many
example, we're
schools
talking about
operated without
citizenship.
permits.
The legislature
Planning
took
was
seize of the
paralyzed
matter,
because since
and to some
2021,
extent address the question
there
of
have been no
citizenship,
full
right?
annual
Even though they
census.
came with some limitations,
The
say, okay,
system
your
was trying
citizenship
to
is
fly
recognized.
without
Um,
instruments.
you can work
Faced
here,
with
but
these
you can be
realities, the
president, you
ministry
can be
chose to
vice president.
focus,
I mean, some people
together
believe
with
that
the
there should be
education
no
sector
barrier,
plan
all right?
If you don't mind,
and the
if I can rephrase
AIDs,
the question,
we
okay,
defined 8
just
No, I'm
reform
getting somewhere.
priorities.
Just,
okay,
I want to see your question. You don't have
Girls
to
and
rephrase it.
inclusive
okay,
education.
go ahead.
Because if you say the only
Teachers
interest, some
and
believe that the only
administrative
interest they have in them is just,
infrastructure.
what they get from them, use them, but
They don't feel like they're a part
correct,
of
they are
right?
part of Liberia. That's the point. How will we take an issue before the legislature to address your concern about citizenship if we don't feel you're part of Liberia? Not happy. Why do we take our time and energy to plan an entire conference, not in Monrovia, but in a place that is considered the center of gravity for our diasporic community? And I say center of gravity because the single most country where we have a huge number of Liberians compared to the rest of the places is America. You heard the fellow from Australia say there are about 20,000 people. In America, that number could quadruple it. So you bring it at the center of gravity. Not only that, you encourage the folks from Europe, from Canada, from Australia. They are also here. If the country does not see you as a part of them, they want to use you for something, they wouldn't make these kinds of investments. Right? If you go back to the country, let us have this conversation. If you go back to the country to do,
I don't want to prolong the to keep you
okay, because these are things we have to properly address.
I understand
There'll be no reason why anybody will want to use a section of the citizen wherever they are. In fact, most of the investment we're talking about remittances, they don't send it to the government. Yes, the money goes into the economy and it impacts the economy. But when you send money to Liberia, who you send it to? Your families, right?
We can
All
build
right.
on that. We
All
can
right.
build on that. I can
Okay.
say your invitation. You can come on the network and we can have this conversation.
All right, sir.
But let's hear from.
Yeah, so for the purpose of this discussion, and when it comes to the Union Liberian Association, this is, I think we had a conference 2019, and that was just the diaspora having a conference, Colossus, Canada, every president from each of the diaspora was here. And that conference was at another level, but this is the first time, as far as I know, that the government of Liberia, so recently, bringing Liberians together, working with the government as a whole, and the president set the tone, as he stated, that they really want to work with us and the diaspora. And I was just thinking, we've done dual citizenship, and now we're looking at out-of-country voting. And there are a lot of different challenges that Liberians face. I learned that some Liberians will go drive to Guinea, carry their goods there, drive from there to come to bring the goods to Liberia or their cars, because it's so expensive in Liberia just to stop to our port. And there are different challenges, but this is a good start. Beautiful. We commend the president and all of you all to really bring us together. So, disseminating information and for it to be uniform, how do you see your ministry taking this information and making sure, because not all the diaspora were present here today, because this is just a start. I know that a lot of Liberians will be going to Liberia in December for that program, but how are you going to use this as your office to really come back and meet the diaspora as a whole, maybe first the United States, Canada, and stuff like that? How are you going to do that? Because I think it will be very helpful, because here everyone is talking, polling everyone. So it's not going to be like talking, but when
Since
do you think
handover,
you see a fit
we've moved
that when you
up to
come here that you
2,000
can have
volunteer
2 hours,
teachers to
inform us
government
while
payroll,
you're in Liberia that
and
you're going to
nearly
come here, and let's
9,000
discuss how
teachers
can we all
have
put this
received
information
salary
together
top-ups.
so that we all can really take out from here
Leadership is
and
stronger.
practicalize it.
16
What has been
county
discussed,
education
reconciliation,
officers
business,
and
all those kind of things.
125 district education
How do you see your
officers
ministry
were
role
vetted
in this?
when we took office and placed in the
You know,
counties
one of
and
the
the
reasons
districts.
why most of the
Professional
initiatives that
development
we want
is
to take,
shifting
sometimes they
from
slow
a
down
one-off
or they don't
workshop
work,
to continuous coaching
is because we put
supported
it
by
back to
digital tools
the government.
across all counties and peer networks.
For me, the journey from here
Is our recent
can move faster if your organization, for example, you're from EULA, right?
education development
EULA,
that have supported Liberia with funding
many other different diaspora groups. I know they have county-based Bon County Association, Lofa Association, Nikutan Association, Liberian Association. I know the EULA is drawn from the different state association. For example, you got the Pennsylvania group, Liberian Association Pennsylvania,
Which is under ULA.
yeah, which my dear sister there is the president, but it's also part of the network of EULA, right? So you have all these groups, and other professional groups are here, the Association of Liberian Journalists in America.
Yeah, they are up.
AJA. They've asked me to be at their convention, so I'll be there. In my mind, when these things happen, we approach them collectively on how to draft, because no one person can do it. Not even the Ministry of Information that I have, right? What I would need, and which conversations can be held along the lines, is to have a conversation with all of you from these different organizations, so that we all formulate the messaging that all of us can run with. Because as a ministry, even in Monrovia where we are, we struggle. You know why we struggle? Things are not as glorious as people think they are. Since I took over the Ministry of Information, we got only one car that they want to use. One. So to step somewhere is a headache. Even though in the midst of that we're taking different initiatives. So the way to drive these things, yes, I agree. As a government and as a sector ministry responsible for communication, we got to play the lead role. But that lead role will not take us anywhere until each of you in the diaspora, with your voice, with your influence, with everything that you have to offer, work together with us to take the message that we all want to get across to our people. And by that way, you draw them into a popular movement that brings about what we all want to see.
I'm very happy the way you answered the question, and I can promise you, as a minister, I will give you a call and
Thank you.
we will all work together. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Before I give you the opportunity to say your final words, let me just get your position on what was said earlier by one of the panelists. That Liberia should mimic what's going on in Cape Verde to have a 6th parliament seat for the diaspora. What do you think about that? And after that, you can give us the closing words.
To exclusively put aside seats for people in the diaspora in the national legislature?
Yes.
I think it's a good idea, but something that we got to understand is a process that will require constitutional changes. Is that
The official mouthpiece of the government, then the president will give support.
no? You see, it's beyond the president. Anything that is driven, the way you see our legislature being structured is reflected in the Constitution. The president does not have the power to choose.
Or will he be in support?
Well, I wouldn't want to vouch for him. If he asks me whether I support that, I would say yes. It would be a good thing. But to change it, it will require a constitutional referendum. That's how it can be changed. Because it's not a statute. It's not a requirement that it's formed in a statute. It's formed in the Constitution. And anything that is constitutional can only be changed by referendum.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Give us the final word, and we look forward to the entire weekend. But just give us the final word.
It's good to be here, and I'm glad that all of you here, thanks to your network for the coverage you're providing. We hope the next 2 days will be excellent. On Sunday, which is the 3rd day, we intend to be more engaging through a town hall beyond the conference. There will be a town hall on Sunday. I saw the address on a flyer. I can assure you we'll have it. We hope to
Every latter investment
Have a very good
shrinks.
engagement with our people at
The
that town hall.
Accelerated Learning
It will
Program
also
with
provide
support
additional
from
opportunity
partners
for people
is
who got
piloting
burning
ways to
issues on
help
their mind. So
512
to raise
over
those
80
questions, the
learners
president will be
graduate.
there, but he'll be
At
accompanied by
scale,
all his
the
ministers.
Excel project,
So when you ask a question, it's not
valued
necessarily
at
by the president. Maybe you
approximately
ask something
$90
that
billion,
agriculture can answer,
with
that
the
health
World
can
Bank
answer, that
support and global partners for
information can
education
answer.
support,
Finance minister is here
will
that he can
embed
answer. So
structured pedagogy,
it's an opportunity to
fluency
engage
checks,
because
and
engagement
numeracy
will do the
routines.
trick for us as a country.
9.
So thank you for the opportunity, and
Literacy is our
let's see how
converging
this whole
interest.
conference goes for the next.
Either we invest
That's
in
really
continued growth,
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
or
much.
we neglect it.
Nice talking. You do that tax. Do you have a card?
All right, guys. If you're
You
watching
can
us,
take my
this is
number. I have
Liberia
card, but
Radio Television Network. We will take a very short break.
I
We'll come
usually
back
reach
with
out to you, but I'm leaving the hotel. I
our
need a
next
car right in the hotel.
interviewee here, and that is an artist, Mr. Flan Melly. So right now, let's take a break, and we'll be right back.
In our community, we help each other. But when it comes to prescription pain medication, such as opioids, sharing isn't helping, it's harming. What works for you could be dangerous, even deadly for somebody else. Don't share your opioids. Instead, help by guiding your family, friends, and neighbors to a doctor. Real help saves lives. This message is brought to you by the Multicultural Community Family Services in partnership with LRTN.
Attention all organizations, NGOs, and social clubs in and out of Liberia. Are you tired of relying solely on social media to run your operations? An effective web platform is your most important marketing tool, and that's where Tiamat.com comes in. Hello, my Liberian people. My name is Sophia, and I want you to consider this. 53% of consumers do online research about an organization before talking to someone from that institution. That means not having a website could be costing you opportunities. Step up your game and establish a professional online presence. Introducing our web platform, designed specifically for 501c organizations, small businesses, and political organizations, social clubs, etc. At Tiamat.com, we understand how important it is to make a great digital first impression, which is why we offer you all the help needed to develop, maintain, and host NGOs and small and big organization websites by giving you a full suite of services that includes automatic billing for members, membership and visitor portals, first-class design and functionality, and much more. The best part is, it only costs $20 per month. Upgrade your image today with our customized web design services. Visit www.tiamat.com to get started. This is a Liberian-owned business.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Liberia Radio and Television Network, and we are still here in Arlington, Virginia, bringing you live coverage of this 3-day Liberia Diaspora Annual Conference. And we are here with our Flan Manley.
Yeah.
And we have a volunteer here at this conference today.
Azakato.
And a guest interviewer. Thank you very much. So first of all, coming back to you, I enjoy your presentation. I know you had a present for the president.
Yeah.
But before we get into anything, just briefly talk to this network about you and your work. And let's just get to know you, and then we can get rolling.
Yeah, well, I'm an artist, a muralist, meaning that I do large scale painting on the walls. But yeah, I'm a full-time artist. I've been an artist my whole life, professionally for the last 15 years. I'm based out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yeah, so it's like what I do. I love telling the story of Liberia, in a way of love and light and hope. Yeah.
So, what got you interested in telling the story? I mean, I understand you're Liberian, but what got you interested? Because you're an artist, you're unmindful artist, it's a free word, but what got you interested into telling Liberia's story? What got you interested in that?
My heart is at home, meaning that my mother's at home, and she has to know I got to be accounted for the years that I've been in America. And how do I tell that story of the Black American boy that's born in Liberia? Right. And how do I communicate that to the kids back at home, right? how do I relate to them? So I gotta tell the story, right? So they know that I'm not just an African American Liberian person. I'm actually Liberian, right? And as far as though as an artist, being that I didn't have no desire to be in other field, you know, social obligation to shift the narrative of what it is to be Liberian, right? I was given this gift for a reason, right? So I can either use it to be perverted or I can use it to instill hope, right, in the community at large, right? And the youth is, I'm from the slums. I live in Waterside, you know, I live in Painesville. You know, how can I speak to that young boy or girl that's back at home that doesn't have hope, right? You know, that's fallen to the wayside, right? To show him what possibility it looks like. So I start telling that story, you know, from the Liberian woman, you know, because in the book of life, she's invisible, but in reality, she's very powerful. I've seen men cry looking at the picture of the girls and women that I painted. So that's how I knew the power of that. The story I was telling held.
Thank you for it, man. That is such a beautiful story. Before I ask you any more questions on that, let me just get a couple of questions for my man here serving as the guest interviewer.
Yeah, absolutely. When I was just listening to that long, detailed answer there, now I know if I ask him another question, it will take 2 minutes.
It won't take that long.
No, but I mean, it is good though that you talk about like the artistry and doing things back home. So with this being your profession, you said you wanted to tell a story.
Yeah.
So what exactly is the story you want to tell? You mentioned Painesville and like Waterside. Say there's a kid there that's watching this now. What is your story that you want to tell them?
I mean, so the story of Liberia, because you know we have one of the major issues with branding, right? That Liberia have a branding issue, identity issue, right? But it also has a soul that has not been tapped into yet, right? The story of Liberia is about war and conflict, right? But how do we shift that, right? Which is I tell it through art, right? So it's love, joy, and hope, right? And triumph. It's not the story of pain. Right, and the story of triumph. Right, not the story of victimhood, it's the story of triumph and victor. So that's the story I tell through my artistry. You know, but also speaking to the young girl or guy back home that has not been communicated to, right? My goal was to be successful early enough to be able to connect with them because I know that I can reach them faster than anybody else older than me because I was very defiant, so I understand that. So I know how to think, so I can be able to reach them, be able to know that there's a possibility out there if you don't think that's possible right now because you haven't been privy to my life in America.
Okay, okay, that's
Makes
very
sense.
good. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. And then now, if I could just kind of tie this back to the conference, because we're here at this conference. The conference has several topics: economy, reconciliation, healthcare, education, infrastructure, all of that. Those are all general topics. Out of all those topics, as an artist, which one speaks to you the most, or which one are you mostly interested in hearing about, or which one do you think you could be, I guess, benefit from the most? And then let's tie that to your professionalism and to the greater audience that's watching as well. If you want to like touch about any of those topics.
So that my main focus is like to be an added blessing. Overall, that's what I'm telling you. The main focus basically as a diaspora to go back home and be able to, because this is a tool that actually helped me heal, right? There is an obvious gap that is there that is on tap territory, right? You know, I was able to learn other things I'm interested in through art, right? And I was able to heal through art as well. So this is a tool I'm looking to use. It says building hope and healing generations, right? Generation what doesn't start with buying land, it starts with healing. You know what I mean? So through art, I was able to heal, so I can use that as a catalyst for change as well through the community at large.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And just before I give you the opportunity to close on this interview,
yes.
I mean, I'll just build on his question. You were here for this conference.
Yes.
For 3 days. The president of Liberia gathered Liberians from in the diaspora to, in the spirit of unity, and for reimagining and rebranding our country. As far as starting your profession into the goal of the president, what do you think? How important do you think this conference is, and what do you think the outcome should be in years to come?
I mean, I think it was vital. I mean, if you have commander in chief, you know, have an open invite to the diasporans, right? To say welcome home, right? You are needed, right? Your work is appreciated. You know what I mean? So just him having an open invite was very vital, and that's something I really appreciate. Was one of the main reasons why, like, my whole thought about trying to pitch something to him, but once he said it, I lied. Perfect, I got a green light, I can go back home, because, you know, a lot of people that I hear that have gifts and talents, there's a lot of resistance that's there, you know, from the government, you know what I mean, trying to get stuff done, you got to work just as hard. But when they come in and keep saying, come home, we need you, we appreciate you, we value you, bring you here, whatever, definitely for sure was good.
All right, man. Thank you so much. Let me give you the opportunity now to give your final word, unless you have any additional question.
No, I think I see it, and we have more folks to interview. But it's been very interesting just hearing this brother talk, and and I kind of like the fact too that you come from a different perspective.
Yes.
Let's just say you have traveled the path less taken oil, like the roads are less traveled.
Yes.
So it's definitely good to hear that perspective.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. Just give us your final word, and then we'll wrap up.
Long live Liberia. That's all I gotta say. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. This is the Liberia Television Network. My name is Derek Kelly. Stay tuned. We got a lot of interviews to bring you. We have 3 days with you, so we will be bringing you live coverage of this event, and we will be bringing you more interviews. So we will just go right into our next interview.
Our classroom,
Just giving you.
after several decades of backwardness,
Again, guys, we have our next guest here to talk to us on this all important 3 days conference here in Arlington, Virginia. Again, welcome to the Liberian Television Network. My name is Derek Kelly, and I'm sharing the stage with my man Isaac Canto. Isaac Canto. Yes, I don't remember. I'm sorry. Well, just introduce yourself to us, and let's just have the conversation about this conference.
Well, I'm Bob Cato. I'm the Deputy Director General for Administration at the National Food Assistance Agency in Liberia.
Thank you very much. And you're here, 3 days conference. Just talk to us overall, and this is almost the middle of the first day. So just talk to us. What have you seen so far, and how important do you think this whole initiative is from the government of Liberia?
It's very important, and I want to say thanks to the Liberian in the diaspora. The energy they put into this thing is encouraging. They tell us how much Liberians want their nation to move forward, those home and abroad. And we cannot achieve that with the kind of division within our country. So the theme of this entire program, the whole conference, building together, with emphasis on reconciliation and national unity, leading towards growth and development. I think it's very essential to our nation because you have a country that is hugely divided. Divided on political lines, divided on religious lines, on tribal or ethnic lines, and to some extent regional lines. Hugely divided country. So when we have a country that is reconciled, we reconcile among ourselves. Those in the diaspora see themselves as Liberians and respect those back home, and those of us back home also see our brothers who, for one or two reasons, travel on the other side of the sea, as Liberians, and we value each of us contribution to our nation. We can build a Liberia that works for all of us, irrespective of other narrow considerations.
Thank you. And just building on the last thing you said, I'm here in the diaspora, and there are a lot of Liberians here that don't feel like they will be integrated into the system if they were to pay a visit. Now, just speak on this. How do you think this conference will be the building block or the first step that Liberia in the diaspora are welcome back home, and they should get rid of that fear that they wouldn't be accepted and integrated into the society in Liberia? What do you think of that?
Well, the fact that the government is giving a solid commitment. The president is here with the pro tem and the deputy speaker represented. All right, so the entire national legislature leadership is represented because you see Senator Dillon and other officials. You also see key members of the president's cabinet. So policies will be directed towards ensuring the achievement of this commitment that are coming out of this conference, especially recommendations that are coming up in making sure that our nation is totally healed, that the different divides are worked on, that we are truly reconciled, because you can live in a country that election ended 2023 and the only thing you hear in 2024 is 2029. 2029, everybody is focused on the next election to the extent that if you intend to do something very productive in the nation, the only thing people see in what you try to do is problem. Nobody sees the solution. So you have a country where people only see the glass half filled, half empty instead of seeing it half filled. Only because one, it is not my trap man that puts a little water in a glass that should not see it half filled. It is half empty. So the nation is hugely divided on all of these different lines. So with this awareness, with this reconciliation efforts where everybody feel part of the nation and feel important in society, and with some of the different fears alleviated based on the kind of conversations going on, I'm sure, especially so with the political will from the president himself, to ensure national unity, starting with the reburial of some of the former presidents and bringing sanity to some of the things that have caused the escalation of our divides, from our history, our bad history of those who got killed, and some of whom did not have a befitting burial, to the conference in the diaspora with Liberians who have been contributing hugely. I think it will go a long way in bringing national unity and making our nation to get on path of progress.
Thank you very much. Let's get a couple of questions from the outside.
Right, certainly. And Mr. Kato, you are one of those who traveled from Liberia to come to this conference. Unlike most of the participants here, you are actually traveling. So what do you hope to accomplish for attending this conference? What is one of your main objectives? What do you hope to accomplish from this conference?
Personally, as an individual or as a country?
Well, let's speak about you personally. What do you expect what do you expect from this conference, or what are some of your goals for this conference? And then after you do that, then you could maybe tie generally, what do you think will be the benefit, or what is the benefit of such a conference to the country at large?
So one of my the goal is the mutual respect, the sense of belonging, and the sense of national, or let's say patriotism, that is generated as a result of Liberians from all walks of life coming together. Those in the diaspora, those of you in the diaspora, and those of us who made a sacrifice to come to you, so that we all see each other as brothers, and that one of us cannot work without the others. It's almost like a table with two legs. You call one of the legs, the table is not going to stand. So you cannot have a Liberia without the contribution of Liberians in the diaspora. And you cannot also move forward in Liberia without the Liberians on the ground, because we all have a role to play, like the two legs of the table. Every good thing is happening there. Most of you here transmit money in the country to our brothers back home, brothers and sisters back home. So some of these people listen to your guardians. So even if you have a sheet lying on that is white, as a plain sheet, and your brother you feed in there calls you and say, no, that shit is not white, it's black, he believes it is white. So we all have to work to promote peace, promote unity, promote reconciliation, and promote national unity as a pedal for progress.
Thank you.
That is my expectation for the program, and I hope this will not be the only Diaspora Liberian Conference or Liberian Diaspora Conference. We'll continue to have it. And I will also prefer a rotating, and sometimes in Liberia, sometimes in Australia, Canada, so that all of Liberians, even though huge members of the diaspora Liberians are in the United States of America, but at least for all of us to be able to see ourselves as one people with one destiny, as a single nation with one destiny.
Thank you very much. And
God bless you.
before, let me just give you the opportunity to give your final words to the network. This is the Liberian Radio and Television Network. We're a local media institution in Northwest Philadelphia. We do coverage mainly in the diaspora. So just give us your final words, and we will wrap up this interview.
Well, we want to say thanks to the organizer of this program, and we want to say thanks to the governor of the Republic of Liberia, particularly His Excellency President Joseph Imam Boakai Sr., for the effort to bring sense of sanity in our nation, starting with national unity and reconciliation. We, bearing the former presidents and former leaders of our nation, I don't see it as ordinary thing and as a physical, endeavor. I see it more of a spiritual process too, and to those of you Liberians who are here, made a sacrifice, left your busy schedule, left your tight job schedule, family, and all of that, the resources have been used to organize this. I see Liberia as a single nation with all of us considered important actors. And so we look forward to some of you coming back home, and we look forward to seeing your meaningful contribution. The president has given assurance that every investment you made in the country will be protected, unless for the past where people see you as an enemy. When you come, they say, oh, the White Tower guys are around and everybody is afraid. We can't do that. We must respect each other irrespective of any different consideration, and I think that is the path we are driving on. Other countries around us who came from war like us, it was because of reconciliation that they are moving forward, like Rwanda and other countries. So we want to say thank you for that, and let's keep working together for the good of our country.
Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us here today. And guys, before we take our final break, this is the LIBERIA Diaspora Annual Conference right here in Arlington, Virginia. We will keep bringing more interviews. So, but for now, we have to take a break, and after the break, we'll continue bringing interviews.
In our community, we help each other. But when it comes to prescription pain medication, such as opioids, sharing isn't helping, it's harming. What works for you could be dangerous, even deadly for somebody else. Don't share your opioids. Instead, help by guiding your family, friends, and neighbors to a doctor. Real help saves lives. This message is brought to you by the Multicultural Community Family Services in partnership with LRTN. Did you know 1 in 4 patients who take opioids long-term become addicted? Opioids are strong pain medications like oxycodone, hydrocodone, or morphine. They can help with pain, but they can also lead to addiction and overdose. Take the medication only the way your doctor tells you to take it. And never share them with your family, friends, or neighbors. Know the risks. Stay safe. This message is brought to you by the Multicultural Community Family Services in partnership with LRTN.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon if you're watching us here in the diaspora, and that's a good evening to all of you watching us in Liberia. This is the Liberia Region Television Network. My name is Derek Yalley, and we are still here in Arlington, Virginia, bringing you special coverage of the 3 days Liberia Diaspora Annual Conference organized by the government of Liberia under His Excellency President Joseph Imam Boakai Sr. And we have with us here the Presidential Press Secretary, Ms. Kula Fofana. Welcome to the Liberian Television Network.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here to join you all to be here and talk to our Liberian people, those listening online in the diaspora and even in Liberia. I'm happy to be here to connect with all of you.
Thank you very much. Today we're just about concluding the first day of a 3 days conference, and you've been here, that's been here, I've seen the excitement in Liberia, in the diaspora, willing to talk. But just talk to us briefly about this, the president taking this initiative to open a platform for Liberian diaspora to express their concern. What do you think about that?
Well, I think this has been long coming, and as you listened to the president earlier this morning, this idea of making the Liberian diaspora a paramount part of the government is something that he started speaking about from day one. Even in his inaugural address, and even in the first annual message, the second annual message, he talked about the diaspora and the role the diaspora play in Liberia, how there's a need to consolidate what Liberians in the diaspora can do to support Liberia back home. So this idea is to make that conversation more prominent and the starting up of the first diaspora conference, because every country that the president has visited, most of the time, or I mean almost all the time, he will meet Liberians, engage with them, have a town hall. But more than just that, there was a need to ensure that Liberians come together to really have discussions on key issues, to concretize what the Liberians in the diaspora can do. And this is something that he really wants to see happening, and he was happy to convene this diaspora engagement, beginning with the annual conference, and then there will be a town hall going forward. And for him, it's not just the meeting of Liberians, but the substantive conversation on how there can be a concrete, connection between Liberia and Liberian diaspora, because other countries have majority of their diaspora also in the U.S., in Africa, in other parts of the world, in Asia, in Europe, and those communities contribute to their countries. So what can we do? And Liberians in the diaspora, because of the war, some Liberians left, people have established themselves in other places, but they have the ideas, they have the knowledge, they have the resources, and besides, they also have the connections that they're able to support and contribute to different sectors of our country.
Thank you. And like you said, a couple of words that we've heard all through today, and obviously there's 2 more days, so there's more to come. We've heard about unity, the president spoke on that, reconciliation, national healing, growth, and prosperity. Now, my question would be, in addition to just opening up or planning for Liberians to express their concern, what more can the president, the government of Liberia do for Liberians in the diaspora to feel more a part of Liberia as far as the lawmaking, the legislature? What more can the president do in addition to what he's already done?
Well, the first way, as the president has said, is to firstly engage, an engagement, open up the conversation. Because by the president himself, yes, he will read literatures, he will have experiences, but without an engagement with people, with communities, to understand what the challenges are. Like you listened earlier on when the different leadership of the different communities in America and in Europe, some of the challenges they talked about was consulate. The one consulate, for example, in Canada, in Europe and other places. Here, the issues could be a lot other things like land issues, business opportunities, and leveraging. So the fact that you're able to sit together, you're able to connect, you're able to listen more, then you're able to see what strategy all can put together and say to ensure that moving forward we can do X, Y, Z. And it's something that is moving forward.
Yeah, thank you. Just more, I don't want to hold you too long, so I just ask you a couple questions. Just bear with me. And there are other Liberians, however, regardless, that still have some type of resentment, and it feels like the country will not accept them, probably because they've been away too long, or maybe they just don't support the government. In your official role as the president, as the press secretary, what can you say to them so that they can heed to the president's message of unity, reconciliation? What will be your message to them?
I will tell them Liberia is open to everyone. Once a Liberian, always a Liberian. And the thing with President Boakai, he's someone who doesn't look at someone based whether or not you support him. He is open once you have an idea. Because, even in the government, there are lots of opposition figures who did not support the president, but they're working with him. There are people who disagree with the president, him. So for him, he's looking forward to everyone coming together on the table. And those who think that there's an issue, people they're not welcome home, no, just come. There are lots of Liberians who've gone back home. In fact, if you see, there are a number of diaspora Liberians who are currently in the government. They're working, they're contributing to the conversation, they're part of the dialogue. So the first thing first is, firstly, engage, get back home. Liberia, yes, starting anything. It's not even, even here. I'm sure when you were relocating, most Liberians who came to America, it wasn't easy from the beginning. There were lots of struggles, lots of challenges. Sometimes you would sit and say, oh, but I thought it was supposed to be easy. So everyone has a story. But in Liberia, there's also going to be a story of challenges. But I can say it's very welcoming to everyone.
Thank you. Just before I give you the chance to say your final words, one of the panel on the open panel discussion they had just made a proposal or suggestion that the president should make what's going on in Cape Verde to have like a seat, to do a referendum for diaspora Liberians to have at least 6 seats in the legislature. What do you think about that? And after they can just give us a final word.
Well, again, like I mentioned, is engagement by the president himself. He will not know all of the issues diaspora wants. By engaging, by sitting together, by having conversation, they're able to proffer recommendation and say, we believe these are the top priority issues,
Do you think the president will support that?
Well, like I mentioned, the president is open to understanding what the issues are, and the president is someone who consults. Working with him for this period now, I know that he consults. So any issues, whether it is political, social, economical, developmental, he consults people in those sectors. So when it comes to that, it's a dialogue, it's a conversation, it's something that he will want to engage further to see what's the best way to do it and how to move about. But he's very interested in the Liberian diaspora and what they can contribute to Liberia in making our country a better place.
Thank you. Just give our listeners for your final words and we'll wrap this
up. Well, thank you all so much and thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. I look forward to connecting with you all Liberians here and even in Liberia, and I look forward to engaging. So we're here, we look forward to this conclusion this evening, also tomorrow, and then on Sunday where there will be the town hall with Liberians. And the president is hoping to transform our country. It's a mandate that was given to him on January when he was inaugurated in 2024, and he's moving that forward. And we look forward to really, really working with the Liberian people to engage in that. Thank you all, and I look forward to engaging. Bye.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Presidential Press Secretary, Ms. Kula Fofana. And we're still here. We'll be bringing you more interview and more coverage on this 3-day conference. And we're just almost at the end of day one, so stay with us. We'll take a very brief break and we'll come back. We'll bring you more interviews.
Attention all organizations, NGOs, and social clubs in and out of Liberia. Are you tired of relying solely on social media to run your operations? An effective web platform is your most important marketing tool. And that's where Tiamat.com comes in. Hello, my Liberian people. My name is Sophia, and I want you to consider this. 53% of consumers do online research about an organization before talking to someone from that institution. That means not having a website could be costing you opportunities. Step up your game and establish a professional online presence. Introducing our web platform designed specifically for 501c organizations, small businesses, and political organizations, social clubs, etc. At Tiamat.com, we understand how important it is to make a great digital first impression, which is why we offer you all the help needed to develop, maintain, and host NGOs and small and big organization websites by giving you a full suite of services that includes automatic billing for members, membership and visitor portals, first-class design and functionality, and much more. The best part is, it only costs $20 per month. Upgrade your image today with our customized web design services. Visit www.tiamat.com to get started.
Maintaining your vehicle can be a major investment. That's why here at Brothers Auto Care, we pride ourselves on providing professional and reliable auto care at affordable rates. Whether you need an inspection, new brakes, or diagnostic reports, our skillful and experienced mechanics are here for you every step of the way. Call Brothers Auto Care now to schedule your next auto maintenance and repair service. At Brothers Auto Care, we help you drive home with peace of mind.
Attention all organizations, NGOs, and social clubs in and out of Liberia. Are you tired of relying solely on social media to run your operations? An effective web platform is your most important marketing tool, and that's where Tiamet.com comes in. Hello, my Liberian people. My name is Sophia, and I want you to consider this. 53% of consumers do online research about an organization before talking to someone from that institution. That means not having a website could be costing you opportunities. Step up your game and establish a professional online presence. Introducing our web platform, designed specifically for 501c organizations, small businesses, and political organizations, social clubs, etc. At Tiamet.com, we understand how important it is to make a great digital first impression, which is why we offer you all the help needed to develop, maintain, and host NGOs and small and big organization websites by giving you a full suite of services that includes automatic billing for members, membership and visitor portals, first-class design and functionality, and much more. The best part is, it only costs $20 per month. Upgrade your image today with our customized web design services. Visit www.tiamet.com to get started. This is a Liberian-owned business.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are here again on the cameras of the LIBERIA Television Network. We are still here in Arlington, Virginia, bringing you special coverage of the 3-day conference of the Liberia in the diaspora under the leadership of the President of Liberia, His Excellency Joshua Nyeman Boaka Sr. And this is just, we are almost at the end of the first day of 3 days of dialoguing with Liberians here, stakeholders, investors, and you name it. And we are here today with the public relations specialist of this government, Mr. George P. Lobo Jr., and we have my co-interviewer, Reverend Edwin Lloyd.
Unfortunately, the census is what is the overall capture?
So basically, by the way, my name is
international system
sometimes.
So next slide.
Unofficial spokesman of the government.
So the purpose of this presentation, as I said, as ambassadors, one of the problems we confronted is the diaspora. Fortunately, the system has been in place and the embassy of research have done a very good job in capturing the program for
today is Friday. I think it's
so I'm trying to build on that.
Just
by designing a system that will be used by the United States because, as was said this morning, diaspora see the need now to find Asia and I think but this presentation is for the United States only. We spend a lot of time looking over the to see the fall.
as provided by the
Especially
U.S. Census Bureau.
mostly the
U.S. Census Bureau has
and they want
the American Community Surveys that drills down on foreign-born in the United States. So for the purpose of this presentation, I asked for
population plays a very key role.
first and second generation
sentiment. So what strategies
including the foreign-born,
strategy the team
as provided, the data is a little bit more
concerning the structure of population moving forward to be able to concentrate
the census is done every 10 years. So we're able to build up some profiles. First,
it has
the age distribution,
two different things. For the first administration, and the reason why I say it's easier is that our engagement from different perspectives. Social media is part of it. Community
since the data
engagement
itself
is
is
town halls,
very technical,
gatherings, and
did a
things
lot
like
of
that. Now that has to do articulating the government's game. So that is a lot easier because when I tell the people that the government is really looking for someone
for where you have
yes,
C-sharp,
if I sit here today and say
the largest concentration of Liberian population in Minnesota, we have a comprehensive survey. So we look at the Minnesota
so that makes it different.
build what we call the best likely uniform profile. Best uniform likely estimate. So that's what I want to remember. Blue method. Next slide. And then of course, talk about remittances. Remittances are defined as the transfers, monetary transfers that are made to households and individuals in Liberia by the current United States dollars. So those are, long-term business. One best census demographic age. Fortunately, for the Minnesota presentation, we have the age sex distribution. But then we have other things that determine social mobility, such as employment, education, social structure, very, very demographic, because this is where you have different types of clusters. In some households, you have some households have nuclear, some households are extended. What stands out in blue as because I believe
these are things that these communities have been
is that most of the population is young.
take a look and say, what do you
and majority of them speak English. Does that ring a bell? So, and of course, at home, speak non-English.
I think it's a wonderful thing, but it's just because
households are married.
And I mean,
almost third. One of the problems that we face is have the majority of the children are under 18. When I was at the University of Pennsylvania, we went to West Philadelphia, looking at the school system there because there have been a lot of migrants that benefited from the settlement program. One of the problems with the school system was
this mindset that the fact that you try hard doesn't guarantee success, but if you don't try, you guarantee success. So that's a mentality that I bring.
Thank you very much. And my name is Tommy, the president of coordinating this conference.
Somebody told him that
there's an open field for Liberia and
professor from Liberia and
for many years.
So we had a project some other things. And it's a long story, but the short is
there are some that still the Harvard representatives
ask a question.
This has been done before, other leadership have come to
so what we recommended was after school
decision policy, the decision being made to pass that in everyday activity of
but this is Minnesota.
what can
And so a lot of things
this
are
stuff is actually serious about integrated.
highly, well, not highly,
You know, myself,
high school.
I just, my last year of work in the United States was January 12th.
Household income is almost 60,000.
Right? I came to the States in
population half.
So the issue of population, people involved.
Next
this
slide.
president is very
Next
the
slide.
thing about it is that
so this is
before
the,
this president, even if you look at
well, it's the misnomer sex, we look at the distribution of sex.
yeah,
This is the age distribution.
totally
You can
useless.
see what stands out there. This is for the entire United States.
Yeah, you watching it?
So there was a drill down.
Sometimes with my
Yeah, the camera.
sometimes the wife is at
Okay, because it's even.
So there are a lot of different
Oh,
factors.
it's not girls, I'll call you.
So now we ask ourselves, where do Liberians walk? So what are we different? Healthcare, education, business, commercial, and small businesses, finance, and trade. Next slide. And so we have some case studies that we have in our database at the library, Liberians that we're tracking. Next slide. So one of them is Mahmoud Johnson. This is what is called a statistic selection bias. We're focusing on professional librarians, of course, and Liberians, but the database is so Mahmoud Johnson, he has this geogram where he's concentrating on oil palm-based consumer goods. Next slide. Those are his products. His beauty products. I don't know how many of you use them. They all get different glass in one. Okay, next slide. Okay, Rachel Dennis, who actually stands out. The thing about him is, besides the fact that he is very, very successful, he helps women focuses on women education, especially disadvantaged. And this is why Madam Salif gave him the highest award in Liberia. It was 2017 or 2018. But he has products that share this journey.
I'll give you the opportunity to now, one of the panelists earlier said that Liberia should adopt what they do that having 6 diaspora
it's in the fashion business.
If a referendum comes
and you remember him in 2021.
But let me say this. The thing about it, as a public policy system,
those are members of the tracking power on the other side.
Yeah, so now you
Who was saying, who never say, sell health products.
That's one that has at a set.
Young children.
So what they do is they just have one element. I don't know. So let's say we see red on the system we have, we see we have 5, 6 to be about to be diaspora.
Axel was here. Can you stand up so that people see who was coming to this session?
So
He's very successful. He used to be our commerce man. So the former commerce minister.
So the diaspora.
He has designed something called Liberian Diaspora Exchange. It's a digital platform.
I'll tell you, yes.
So I can now sit in my office as ambassador and have Zoom meetings with people all over the United States. And I'm going to use that as to engage the diaspora. We have an MOU with this organization. Next. Ashima Major. Ashima is a successful publicist. I guess you all know what optometry is. Eye doctor, very successful. Very successful in Pennsylvania for all ages. It's very, very successful. Yes. So now, I'm sorry, I mean, some of you may say, well, you know, this person might be put it so different. We have a lot of cases in our database. Those are just because of time. Now, let us look at a little bit of the geographic distribution. The figures that you need.
Thank you. We have a lot of people lined up, so let me give you the opportunity.
Because
any final questions,
it's based on some
questions, so we'll give you the opportunity to.
So, what message do you have for those who estimate social media platforms, or in particular the message formulated by the World Administration, foster reconciliation?
Somebody says it's wrong. Well, it's based on the data that we saw. Minnesota and Liberians are everywhere in the United States. But they are large, very large concentrations. Minnesota, Pennsylvania, Minnesota, especially Hennepin.
We have to see, especially to see how
so that proves to be Pennsylvania, possibly Delaware County, New Jersey, especially in Mercer County, Rhode Island, Delaware. Next slide, please. Now, remittances. This over and over. People talk about remittances. It's the money transferred, the money that is transferred by working and Americans who work in the United States. Households. And it's a variation. Somebody said 800 million. I think that was the total. By 1922, sorry, 2022, according to the World Bank Data Council, it was about 223 billion. And if you look at the total value of the current US dollars, 690 billion. Because of Liberia, the United States has owned 32% of the third. So what is the implications of all of this? One, there are economic implications for policy. Means that the government needs to incentivize these transactions. I just gave you two examples. Racial damage we recognize. We have the Liberian diaspora business model. If it does not
Honor President Walker's by more than 150%. Under President Walker's leadership, we will make the largest investment in secondary education by the construction of 100 brand new public schools that meet the 21st century standard. Not only that, we'll open roads and build new communities that never existed. And I can assure all Liberians that under our watch, Liberia will never be the same as we inherited. That is a promise I made.
Thank you very much, Mr. George Lobo. That is public relations. So for now, we'll take a very brief break, and when we come back, we'll make it more here. So stay tuned.
Attention all organizations, NGOs, and social clubs in and out of Liberia. Are you tired of relying solely on social media to run your operations? An effective web platform is your most important marketing tool, and that's where Tiamat.com comes in. Hello, my Liberian people. My name is Sophia, and I want you to consider this. 53% of consumers do online research about an organization before talking to someone from that institution. That means not having a website could be costing you opportunities. Step up your game online. Introducing our web platform designed specifically for 501c organizations, small business and politicians, social clubs, etc. At tiamet.com, we understand how important it is to make a great digital first impression, which is why we offer you all the help needed to develop, maintain, and host NGOs and small and big organization websites by giving you a full suite of services that includes automatic billing for members, membership and visitor portals, first-class design and functionality, and much more. The best part is, it only costs $20 per month. Upgrade your image today with our customized web design. www.tiamet.com to get started. This is a Liberian-owned business.
Hi, my name is Theophilus Julipon Nelson I. I am the founder and CEO of Lift Africa LLC. Lift Africa started as an employment agency that sought the employment of immigrants coming to the U.S. and finding ways and means to be able to start life in this great country. Now we have added airport pickups and drop, car rental, hall rental. As you see, we have a new business location. Started with just a little office part, but today we have a whole complex that we can do a lot of stuff with.
Hello everyone, my name is Geneva Kreitz. I'm the Executive Administrator of Uplift Africa. We have an excellent employment rate at our company. We work with and for you regardless of your situation. If you've ever been in prison, maybe your background isn't great, do not worry. We have a place for you here. We believe in equal opportunity for everyone, especially you. So sign up today and begin earning.
My name is Emmanuel B. Operational for Live Africa. Live Africa is the place to be.
Maintaining your vehicle can be a major investment. That's why here at Brothers Auto Care, we pride ourselves on providing professional and reliable auto care at affordable rates. Whether you need diagnostic reports, our skillful and experienced mechanics are here for you every step of the way. Call Brothers Auto Care now to schedule your next auto maintenance and repair service. At Brothers Auto Care, we help you drive home with peace of mind.
Yes, please respond to it. For those of you who registered in person.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Reverend Dr. Lloyd. We have with us Mr. Gerald Eric Williamson Sr. He is the Chief Executive Officer of Liberty Watch Incorporated. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, Mr. Williamson, in starting, what is your overall impression about this conference?
First of all, let me give thanks and appreciation to the chairman and organizer of this conference and to His Excellency President Joseph Boyka.
I'm impressed with the reconciliation 1 and 2.
The President's message to us this morning was one of encouragement, irrespective of my politics being different from the President, but there's a place where politics ends at the water's edge. And when the development of Liberia comes, we all come on board to form a unified force in tackling the problems and making sure Liberia can be a worldwide nation. I'm very impressed with it, the first day of it, and I look forward to the next 2 days.
All right, great. I see here, the President in his message today talked about the importance of rule of law. He talked about stating that the days of benevolent leadership is over. And I see the mission of your organization focus also on the rule of law, including human rights, youth empowerment, and gender equality. What progress have your organization made so far?
Well, one of the first things we've done over the time is to talk with the Liberian security apparatus, the Ministry of Justice. One of the things that we have to look at that bothers me as a whole when it comes to the rule of law is respecting the right of habeas corpus for people. Unlawful detention of people, pre-trial detainees. They stay in jail for almost 3 months before trial and violating the Constitution. We're rating the Justice Ministry on that. We understand the situation, so we're willing to have some talk with them to see how we can mitigate and work with that situation to be able to solve that and make sure that people understand their rights and the rights of people are not just violated without regards to the Constitution. So we're talking about that. We also are working with, I just heard the minister say that because they received a letter from us too with some proposals about attacking youth, the drug infestation in Liberia. We have 25 acres of land in Wiala that we're going to be working with the relevant agency to see if we can establish some rehabilitation center there to be able to work with some of our youth. We cannot keep arresting them and putting them in jail. Detention will not solve the problem we have. So in a nutshell, those are some of the things we'll be working on in the interim. I'll be taking a trip to Liberia in November to do some more feasibility studies as to how, after this conference, to begin to find a role of our organization coming up from here.
All right, you spoke of youth empowerment. Considering the fact that the Liberian Civil War created a resource gap for the youth of Liberia, and the youth will be the future leaders of the nation, and they need to be adequately prepared. So what is the organization doing to partner with the Liberian government in closing that resource gap that exists currently?
Well, one of the things that I started, I've been talking about, the Liberian youthful population is its greatest asset. But under-empowerment, unemployment at the present stage makes it an existential threat. So one of the things having had a serious talk with the present government, but I've spoken to previous government, and I've worked with them to begin to see how we can get the natural resources through the Ministry of Youth and Sports with more TVETs, creating ready-made program for them at these TVETs where government can use them. All of this is tied to our Liberianization policy. Because if we cannot employ these young people, enforce the Liberianization policy, these people, you cannot have all this, the strength of your youth. And even the simplest job as a shop owner, working on the mines or doing carpentry, mechanic, all of things are being taken by foreigners. So we are going to make sure we can train, educating our Liberian youth in marketable skills, giving them marketable skills to be able to become employed within the government, or something we need to do. I've been talking to the government. I haven't formed a policy with government yet. I've just been giving scholarships up to school at the University of Liberia, and we're talking to the University of Liberia to see how we can work with even a social program to engage the youth. I don't like to use frequency, but the youth problems that we have in Liberia.
On the issue of gender equality, Our traditional system has marginalized females, and also in the past, and even maybe the present, the little progress has been made when it comes to gender equality. So what have the organization have been doing specifically for gender equality, and how do you see the progress in the area of gender equality as we move forward?
Over the years, a lot of opportunities have, progress have been made when it comes in terms of government, in terms of the person in government, in the authority. Those things have been made. But it's in Monrovia. The rural Liberia, women still suffer a lot. When we talk about gender equality, sometimes I go back to the duality of our legal framework that put women into some jeopardy. Because women in Monrovia, in the wake of their husband's death, they can become next of kin. Whereas if you travel 100 miles from Monrovia, a woman that and her husband died, she's been there 25 years, that goes to her family, to the husband's family. She has nothing. She's left. They say your children will take care of you. The gender equality also comes into the place where we have young girls too. In Monrovia, we frown on rape. But yet, when we drive 100 miles, we celebrate the marriage of a 14-year-old girl. One country, two laws. So in order to help these women, in order to do this, we have to go beyond just looking at government positions. We got to look at the rights, women's rights, what it is, and try to look at domestic violence and work on that, and not only frown on it in urban areas, but also in rural areas, and have the necessary statutes and laws that protect them.
In a nutshell, as we close, in your closing statement, how do you feel, or how can the diaspora further the aspiration of your organization, which includes gender equality, which includes youth empowerment, and the rule of law?
One of the ways that we could do that is becoming visibly present in Liberia, owning the future of Liberia as part of our responsibility, becoming stakeholders in Liberia. Remittances are good, but we need to begin to look how we can create jobs, how we can support women, businesses in Liberia, employ women, train women, and carry our expertise to Liberia. It's not going to happen overnight, but we need to look into that and make a concerted effort in order to present some package that will help in gender equality and youth empowerment.
Okay, Mr. Williamson, thanks a lot. I'd like to congratulate you and thank you for what you're doing to further the socio-economic development of Liberia. And we pray that you will be empowered, and we pray that you will galvanize the support that you need to continue to do what you're doing. Thank you very much again.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here just about to conclude the first day of a 3 days Liberian Diaspora Conference, the Liberian Annual Diaspora Conference convened by the President of Liberia, And it's a 3 days of a lot of different activities, dialogues. So the president is opening the field for Liberians in the diaspora to express their concerns in light of development and other issues. Like we've been doing all day, we're bringing you a lot of different interviews with a lot of dignitaries, very important people here today. And we have here, if you would just introduce yourself to the Liberian Television Network. Also welcome.
My name is Arthur Uyado, and I am an activist of the Liberian community here in the Washington, D.C. area and all over the U.S. diaspora. Former Secretary General, two-term Secretary General of ULA, the Union of Liberian Associations in America, and also currently serving our community as the Chief of Staff. You know, a position that has been a claim upon me. Perpetual position. That any president that comes, you know, yeah, and I love serving our community. So again, my name is Arthur Uyado. I'm happy to be at this conference today.
Thank you very much. And I have my co-interviewer again. You've seen your face a couple of times now, so just reintroduce yourself at this point.
Yeah, I'm Reverend Dr. Deidre Lloyd, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you very much. Before we get into it, you know, this is a two-interviewer, one interview, so we'll be taking questions from you myself. It's going to be a very brief interview, but we're going to have to get our important questions in the way. Yeah. Now, you say you're an activist, right. Career-long activist. What are some of the major issues that you have or gear your activism towards?
I started my activism in Liberia. The rights of Liberians to their country. And I came to the United States. I continue on the activism. And I must tell you, I enjoy doing it. And one of the most important achievements that I form part of. Now today we are really happy about is the dual citizenship. For Liberians in the diaspora, not only the U.S. diaspora, all over. You know, now today we say once a Liberian, always a Liberian. In addition, you know, when Liberians in the diaspora, but the U.S. diaspora always call White House to adjust the status. We were in advocacy as well. And it's important to note that achieving permanent residency in this country for Liberians from TPS to that of that, it is the achievement that we all talked about today. And we form part of that achievement, and we are happy that Liberians in the diaspora, but especially the U.S. diaspora, had the opportunity to register to get a permanent residency. Right. True Donald Trump first term.
Good. So just tailoring what you do into what we're here for. The president's opening this panel for Liberia to express their concern. I'm sure if there's anyone you want to hear from are those that are advocating for different issues. What do you think about this event, this conference overall, and what are some of the major concerns that you will hope you and yourself, or Liberian, and you and Liberian in the diaspora will put forward to the president, and eventually that you will see the president will actually execute?
I heard and have a brief conversation with the representative from Rwanda. The Rwanda experience is very important for Liberia. I cried when he talked about many people that were killed. I cried. The guy who arrested me, he saw me, and you know, why should people kill innocent people? You know? If we can adapt the Rwandan experience, how they achieve reconciliation, how they manage to come together after that devastating war, crisis. They can easily come together, reconcile. It's not easy to reconcile. But from that message, I thought here the point, and it is something that I took from here. If we really want growth and development in the country, as I follow discussions online, even at conferences like this, you see the divide. How can we bridge that? That's my concern. And I think the Rwanda experience should be capitalized upon so that we can make sure that Liberian Development Initiative begin to grow. Other than that, you can build the best mansion in Sando County, in Magibi County. If people are still bitter and the gap begin to just get wider and wider, definitely we will not go anywhere. So reconciliation is very, very important. As many of the speakers said, it should be taught in churches. It should be taught in the mosque. It should be taught at every event that we go to. We'll be driving towards peace and reconciliation in the country. So one great thing that I took from this particular conference is about reconciliation. That is why I wanted to go to the breakout so that I can present this thing. I have a very personal story that I want to tell. And I will briefly say it here. That is not happening in Liberia. All of us in Liberia need to come together.
Thank you very much. Now let's take a question from you and then. Yeah, Honorable Doe, I know your work in the community. You're one of the stern advocates in the Liberian community and the diaspora. But you spoke about the divide that exists. What I want to ask you, Honorable Doe, what are some of the challenges when it comes to reconciliation in Liberia? And how can we overcome these challenges?
One of the things that we can do is to come out and tell your friend, heal yourself, whatsoever bitterness you have in yourself, take it out, spit it out, throw it away, brush off, and get to your friend and say, look, this has been happening for so long. We were once an ally. I think we can come together. Let bygone be bygone. Let's embrace each other and move ahead. Put the community first. Put people first. Most especially when we see the strength in us when we come together. We see that indeed, if we come together, we can have many things going on for ourselves. All right? But we have to confront each other, say it, brush it off, come together, and move forward.
Well, Honorable Doe, one thing I know you are aware of, the diaspora play a very key role when it comes to post-war development and the future of Liberia. But you see, even within the diaspora, there are divisions. So if the diaspora must play a part, how can the diaspora neutralize these divisions so that we'll be able to together join our brothers and sisters back home to build a new Liberia?
I said it. Okay? There's division everywhere. Even in the family, there's division. Let us search ourselves, admit our wrong, embrace each other, and move forward. Because they say, united we stand, divided we fall. You know Comrade Chinwe Achebe? You know about Comrade Chinwe Achebe? Yes. He said, if the center does not hold, things are going to fall apart.
Things fall apart, yes.
Things fall apart. I would never forget about that comrade. A great rector. We know where we come from. We know. We don't know where we are going. How do we define where we are going? Is ourselves. We have to embrace, do the right thing, and make sure that we begin to talk to each other and say, look, let bygone be bygone. Let's embrace each other and put our community first, put our people first, above our individual interest.
Thank you very much. I have a whole lot of questions to ask you, and I will extend an invitation to you to come on the network. Let's talk more.
No problem.
About this, because it's a very important conference if you think about it. Liberians in the diaspora have a whole lot of concerns, you know, and I think those concerns need to be addressed. And I agree with you that it can't be addressed if we don't first reconcile with each other, because we are carrying a lot of different traumas from the Civil War, different disagreements in our own political space and stuff like that. But I know you expressed that you wanted to go to one of the breakouts, so I don't want to hold you here too long.
No problem.
I'm just going to ask you, because you promised, or you're going to share with us briefly that personal story. See if you can do that, and then you can just close out this interview. I appreciate it.
You know, each time I share this story, tears come from my eye. You know, let's pause a little bit. Let's come back.
Okay. All right. We'll take that. We're here for 3 days. We're here for 3 days.
For having me.
Nice having you here as well.
I am here, and I can come back.
Always. The network is yours. Always.
Okay, no problem.
And again, guys.
And fellow Liberians, just remember, as we conclude today on this annual Liberian Annual Diaspora Conference, let us know that in union strong, success is sure. We cannot fail. Above our right to prove, we will overall prevail. God bless you, and thank you.
Thank you very much. Time here is almost like 4 minutes to 5 p.m. and we are wrapping up interviews. We just have one more interview to do just after this, and then we will bid all of you a pleasant good evening until we see you guys tomorrow again with another beautiful live coverage. This is the Liberia Radio and Television Network. My name is Derek Yale, and very shortly we'll have the man behind the camera, the CEO of LRTA, here to talk to us briefly as we're wrapping up day one of a 3 days Liberia Diaspora Conference right here in Arlington, Virginia. Again, very shortly we'll have the CEO of LRTA, Mr. Joseph Anderson, here to talk to us very briefly. Just to wrap the days up. But again, guys, thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you for assisting me here today. It was such a pleasure working with you.
No problem.
So guys, stay tuned. Liberia Radio and Television Network. We're here, we're there, we're everywhere. And you're going to get a lot of coverage from us this weekend. So this is just day one. Tomorrow we're bringing you day two, a whole lot of interviews, big people, very important people. Let me have on my right here. So we're just waiting very shortly for the president of Liberia, the CEO of Liberia Radio and Television Network, Mr. Joseph Anderson. If you guys don't mind, let me get Mr. Anderson here to do a very short interview. Just wrapping up today.
Okay.
You can sit in. Thank you very much, Mr. Anderson, guys. By way of introduction, all of the beautiful live videos you've seen, the ones that you've participated in. This is the CEO of Liberia Radio and Television Network. The man behind the camera, all of the hard work, the technical details, the material that are coming to you, the quality of work that are coming to you is coming from him. So just like to have a brief word from him so far. We have 3 days with his work here. So let's just hear from him overall today. Mr. Anderson, welcome to the network. Welcome to today's coverage. Talk to us. How has it been just doing things here today?
All right, so I want to say thanks to you guys. You did a wonderful job today. And thanks to the audience for the patience. We had low challenges today when we came in. We had a problem with the audio. A lot of people were complaining about audio, and we've been running around trying to fix that. We had another team that is here that was hired to do some work. So we had some problem with interference with the audio. You heard it grounding back and forth, but we're able to resolve that. So tomorrow you have a fresh start, and you should be having a very clear, good audio coming to you by the grace and help of God. Today was great. I'm exhausted. You know, I came here with the intention that we were going to go Pamoto, Kasawali.
You're not about to talk about the food.
They give us some sandwiches and all of that. I'm tired and hungry, but it was good. It was nice to be here today. I mean, what I would say to everybody is being the media business is not an easy thing. It's a very tough thing to do. You know, people sit on the screen and they're watching. They really don't know the actual work that is behind this. I got lesson 4 o'clock this morning, and I had to be in here, make sure everything is ready, just to deliver, to make sure that people sit home and actually get what they want to get. And the LRTN is for the Liberian community. It's an open platform. We've been on this since 2018, and there you know how we've been working. So our goal is to bring correct information where we have people can sit in the living room. Just CNN and other people do it. I used to give it to our people. It's important our people have that. You know, we need to have something that we can depend on in the diaspora. So my goal is the diaspora. So we don't sit in the house and just talk or sit in the studio. We come outside. So we're facing the challenges. Whatever happens, whether it's going to, if it's bad, we'll work it out and we'll find a solution to make sure that the folks get the actual information. So I want to say, relax tomorrow, sit back, bringing this to you fresh. We'll try to be here. And I want to say thanks to the 2 guys on my left and my right, Derek and this wonderful gentleman. You guys did a wonderful job today. A lot of people call me. And those of you that are watching, if you love what we're doing, we're going to start putting the cash out in the Zelle. You can support this. You can buy something, about a mic, or you can buy something, wherever we get to put it right back in this. We want to make this to be a giant network for you. Yes. So it's very important that we all contribute to this and make sure we provide everything we can, to have it.
Thank you.
So
Thank
thanks
you
so
very
much. I know I'm talking too long, but thanks so much.
You're doing it.
We'll see you taking me over
there. So, Mr. Anderson, we just want to thank you and your crew for delivering the Liberian Diaspora Conference into the homes of diaspora Liberians. It is very important to keep the information flowing to our fellow Liberians. But just briefly, can you tell the diaspora Liberians, those who are listening, how they can connect with your network?
Okay, so when you actually be watching the program, you'll see the scrolling text.
Okay.
It tell you the network, where we base, our telephone number, the different pages you can find us on. And don't be afraid to call the number, talk to me.
Okay.
We have a lot of advertisement. People give us the advertisement to promote them.
Okay.
You can, that's some form of way that we can get back to them. Okay. So you can call us. We're open to that. You have in your program, wedding, funerals, wherever you have it, you call us, we go there. Wherever we get, we put it right back into this. The goal is to continue running this, to make this to be something of our own, something that we can have. So wherever you can connect to me, read it, look at the text down there. My number is 215-954-1375. Tomorrow I will keep rolling that text so you can see it. We got a website and all of that. And this is something that we got to keep the fire burning.
Thank you. Just to add to CEO, as far as contacting LRTN, if you're watching this video, you're most likely seeing it either on YouTube or Facebook. If you're on Facebook, it's LRTN Live.
Yes.
And if you're on YouTube, it's Liberia Radio and Television Network. We also have a website where you can go to and see developments from Liberia, after the rest of Africa and the diaspora, where these developments will feature different resources. So make sure you check it out, lrtn.net.
Yeah.
And also have an Instagram page, lrtn.231, if I'm not mistaken. So you have a lot of ways to engage us, to interact with us. And just to close on this, we are a local media institution in Northeast Philadelphia. We're not government owned, we're not privately owned, we're not affiliated with any sites. So we work with anybody that engage us. So again, we're now a political party or network. So we work for Liberians. So we'll cover story here in the diaspora and in Liberia. So stay tuned. We will be here for the next 2 days, and we just completed day 1. So stay tuned. We'll be bringing you a lot of coverage today. Like the CEO said, we had an issue with our audio, but that has been rectified, as you can see now. And so tomorrow, stay tuned for another beautiful day of coverage. Again, my name is Derek Allen. Just to say this, we're having a compensation issue here at this level. Anyway, have a pleasant good evening,
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the Feedback and Evaluation Committee of the Liberian Annual Diaspora Conference, I want to thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. You did a wonderful job.
Attention all organizations, NGOs, and social clubs in and out of Liberia. Are you tired of relying solely on social media to run your operations? An effective web platform is your most important marketing tool, and that's where Tiamat.com comes in. Hello, my Liberian people. My name is Sophia, and I want you to consider this. 53% of consumers do online research about an organization before talking to someone from